Savannah?
Okay.
Oh, poor kitty. Sir, was that a cat you just threw?
Yeah, she comes down off. Sorry.
Okay, sound like she hit kind of hard.
Now, I'm one of those people who genuinely just loves animals, but I'm a dog guy. Now, I'm sure I look like the kind of guy that has like a big German Shepherd or a Pit Bull or something like that. But no, I'm a Chihuahua dada. Mwah. I've got two of these little ones. The other one would not come out of bed though. He was too cozy. But she's a major daddy's girl, so she's always with me, sitting here next to my desk. To be fair, I usually have snacks, and that's probably why. For those who don't know, this is little Minnie Mouse. She's my baby. Mind you, she doesn't look too happy that I took her out of her bed. I think we'll put you back down, babes. And now, while I wouldn't say that I'm a massive cat lover, I'm not a cat hater either. And if I was looking after one or babysitting one, or if I had one, I'd treat it just as good as my chihuahuas. Well, that's a barefaced lie. I would treat it really, really, really well, but never as good as my little babies. Anyway, this guy's got a cat, and I think somebody with a serious anger management problem like this fella definitely shouldn't have one. He's literally in court demonstrating that he doesn't have an anger problem. The cat literally did nothing.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can, thank you, sir. We're on the record in 2022 CR 381 and 2023 CR 224, both captioned State of Kansas versus Christopher Lee Myers. Please announce appearances.
Jerry here on behalf of the state.
Joshua Andrews on behalf of Mr. Myers, who is also present.
And how does he wish to proceed on these two cases, Mr. Andrews?
Your Honor, at this time, we have entered into an agreement with the state. Mr. Myers will enter a plea of no contest to the sole count.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that that ball was directed most likely at another completely innocent creature. But I may be wrong.
To the sole count of 22 CR 381, which is domestic battery, a Class B person misdemeanor. In exchange for the successful entry of that plea, the state will dismiss with prejudice case number 2023 CR 224 in its entirety. There will be a joint.
Okay, now that one is the DV battery violation protection order that will be dismissed with prejudice.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the other one, he's pleading guilty or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
Very well. Go
There will
ahead.
be a joint sentencing recommendation of a 6-month controlling sentence with 12 months reporting probation. As a condition of his probation, Mr. Myers will complete a battery intervention program assessment and follow any recommendations. Neither party is requesting a fine. There will be no contact with the victim, Crystal Cartmel, until Mr. Myers has completed the BIP assessment and then at the discretion of his court services officer.
Okay. Mr. Aguirre, that is your agreement?
Your Honor, in exchange for the successful entry of the plea in the 381 case, the state is prepared to conditionally dismiss the 224 case. My understanding is that upon successful conviction, the state would be recommending in the 381 case, no fine, $158 in court costs, $100 for the DV fund. I'll of course defer to the court on the issue of attorney fees. They would further recommend a 6-month underlying sentence, 12 months reporting probation, and a $60 probation fee. Besides the defendant completing the BIP assessment following recommendations, the state would also be recommending no contact with El Dorado Lake, no contact with the victim until after the assessment is completed and the recommendations are begun, as well as all standard conditions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Myers, is that your agreement?
Yes, was that, I thought he said 12 months probation, or was that 6 months?
I heard a 6-month suspended jail sentence in lieu of a 12-month reporting probation. Counsel, did I hear that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Your Honor.
Mr. Myers?
So I'll have to report for 12 months?
Well, if I accept your plea agreement, yeah.
I thought my lawyer said 6 months.
No, I told you 6-month controlling sentence with 12 months reporting probation.
Okay, well, what does that exactly mean?
Well, let's put you two back in the breakout room again, Savannah.
Okay.
Oh, poor kitty. Sir, was that a cat you just threw?
Yeah, she comes down off. Sorry.
Okay, sound like she hit kind of hard.
All right, let's so just look back on this for a second and see what exactly it was that the cat did that justified said cat being sent into orbit. Dramatic reconstruction. This is a slipper, not a cat. So the cat basically came from the site, minding its own damn business. He got pissed off and then yeeted the cat for nothing. Now, you might not like cats, but that didn't seem fair to me now, did it?
He's still in the breakout room. Let me try and get him back here.
Oh, Paul. Your Honor, I did speak with my client, and I do believe that he is prepared to accept the plea agreement as previously announced.
Mr. Myers, now that you've had more time to talk to your attorney, do you still wish to enter that no contest plea to the domestic violence battery in the 22 CR 381 in exchange for dismissal of the domestic battery and violation of protection order in 23 CR 224?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand a no contest plea means you're not admitting the charge, but you're not denying it, you don't want to take it to trial?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
In fact, do you understand that by entering a no contest plea, you're giving up your right to trial as well as your right to appeal any conviction?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, has anyone made you enter this plea today by any kind of force, threat, or promise other than the terms of your plea agreement?
No, ma'am.
And you had some hesitancy before we went off the record and let you talk privately with your attorney.
Folks, just a quick break to ask you if you're enjoying this video. If you are, make sure and hit that thumbs up. Consider becoming a member or a Patreon or dropping a tip in the PayPal tip jar down below. Who knows? Maybe the Chihuahuas might get some treats out of it. And also, I want you to just stay tuned to the very end of this video. I've got a really important question to ask you guys, and I really want to hear your responses to it.
About the terms of the agreement. Do you feel satisfied with the terms now?
Yes, I understand.
And you wish to proceed with the plea agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Regier, have you a factual basis to support the plea of no contest in 22 CR 381?
Yes, Your Honor. In reviewing the affidavit, it would appear the affiant, an officer with the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks on October 2nd of 2022, was advised of an incident, whereupon it was alleged that the defendant had struck the victim, who he had been in a dating relationship for approximately 1.5 years, 4 times across the face with an open fist. And I believe, and it looks like the address is to which the affiant was dispatched was a campsite address in El Dorado State Park, all within the confines of Butler County, to my understanding.
All right, I accept that factual basis and find the defendant guilty, having accepted his plea of no contest is knowingly and voluntarily waived. Finding you guilty, Mr. Myers, I would ask the state if there's any recommendations other than what have already been stated.
None other than what have already been stated, Your Honor. And again, the successful conviction in the 381 case is a requirement for the dismissal per plea agreement of the 224 case.
All right, thank you. Mr. Myers.
Yeah, I never touched her. I threw a cup of water on her out at the lake. I won't take that.
No, Christopher, remember we talked about.
I never struck and I never hit her once. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm not doing that. I'll take it to trial. I never touched her. I threw a cup of water on her.
That was the second case that was dismissed. I think that's,
All
yeah,
right,
I understand, Chris. We spoke benefits of the plea. Do we want to talk?
you want to talk privately again, Mr. Andrews? Or do you
Can I
want to
talk
set
to
trial?
Judge?
Yes.
And
Let's put him back in the breakout room.
Yes, please.
Last time today, though. If this doesn't come to fruition, then we will set it for bench trial in October, which is just a hop and a skip.
Would I be able to get my ankle
you're-
monitor off because I can't?
Hold on, Mr. Myers. You're going to talk privately to your attorney about such matters. Savannah, please.
You need to click join, Mr. Myers, on your screen.
So obviously this guy is not an aggressive character. All he's done so far is throw something at somebody or something.
To the sole count.
Yeeted a cat.
Okay,
And as you can see, doing all these facial things, getting angry and stuff like that. But all he's ever done is dumped water on somebody. Clearly not an aggressive kind of character at all. I mean, how could you possibly think that somebody who turns a cat into a flying cat could possibly be an aggressive kind of character? So I'm sure he's going to fight this till the bitter end.
All right, well, at this time, I am going to sentence you per your plea agreement to 6 months in the Butler County Jail. You will have credit for time served on this case, not the one that's being dismissed, but on 381. I'm not going to give you a fine, but you will be ordered to pay court costs of $158, probation supervision fees of $60, and then a special fee of $100 to the Domestic Violence Offender Fund. Attorney's fees are waived. Probation will include all standard conditions, which probation will go over with you. You must call the probation department upon immediate completion of this hearing. And that number is 316-322-4153. Special conditions of probation include obtaining a certified domestic violence offender assessment. I think parties have been referring to it as its other name, Batter's Intervention Program Evaluation. But you have to get that evaluation and then you have to comply with whatever it recommends, if anything. You are to have that appointment scheduled within 1 week. Now, you don't have to have the evaluation in 1 week. That's a little bit too much to be expected, but you have to be on the phone calling the evaluation facility and setting it up. Probation can give you some places to call for that.
Do they do that? I'm sorry.
I'm not sure where they do it, if they do it locally or not. They have in the past, they have not in the past. I'm not sure the current status, but probation will.
Okay.
And no contact with the El Dorado Lake where this happened, no contact with Crystal Cartmill. Are you two still considered in some kind of relationship?
Yeah, we were supposed to be getting married.
Okay, but you're not anymore. This happened October 22. Are you still planning to get married?
We really haven't seen each other much in a year, so I mean, it's not. I don't.
Okay. Well, I'm going to order no contact with Crystal Cartmill. And I think that covers the plea agreement. Mr. Aguirre, anything further?
1 moment, Your Honor.
Your Honor, one minute for Gears looking, I was going to say, just for clarification, the plea agreement was no contact with Ms. Cartmell until after the BIP assessment and at the discretion of court services. I just,
That's fine. That's fine. We can put that in there. I thought if he's not having a relationship with her in a year, he doesn't need to have one, but I'm afraid I assume she was the alleged victim in the case that's being dismissed, the violation of protection order and DVBAT.
yes, Your Honor.
I just don't, after a year's time, I don't want him to show up and then the two of them get in another issue again. So I was going to just say no contest, but I'll use your language, and as long as he doesn't get a new charge.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. If you'll be extra cautious in advising him about that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Regier, did you get that change in order from no contact to no contact and until after the evaluation and at the discretion of probation?
Yes, Your Honor, is the court also ordering, all standard conditions and also if the court is ordering a, $6 probation fee, I don't know if the court has a specific time frame in mind for the length of the probation. State's recommendation pursuant to the plea would be 12 months.
12 months is the length of reporting probation. Defendant is ordered to pay 1/12 at least of the total due each month to get this paid. That should be easily workable. If not, talk to your probation officer, but that's my order at this time. Anything else, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, does the court want to, for that 1/12 payment, does the court want to set a beginning date for that, or is the court also leaving that to the court's
Well,
discretion?
let's start that. It's October 31st. If he pays online, otherwise by the close of business, I'd just say October 31st, it has to be paid by.
Very good, Your Honor.
Okay, if there's nothing further, then Mr. Myers, the other case, 23 CR 224 is dismissed with prejudice as part of your plea agreement. Go call your probation officer and do well.
How much is all the fun or everything costing?
Looks like it's about 318 if my rough math is right. 318.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Thank you, Mr. Andrews and Mr. Regier. All right, Mr. Andrews, I think that concludes your appearances.
As far as I know, it does, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Then Mr. Andrews is excused. Mr. Myers is excused with the condition that he call his probation officer.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Do I have the same probation officer that I'm seeing now?
You'll have to ask them.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So about halfway through the video, I asked you guys to stay here and let me know what you think about something. And here's the question I have for you. Yes, cats usually, because I've seen situations where they haven't sadly, but usually cats land on their feet. Now in this scenario, it seems like the cat was relatively unharmed, still not a very nice situation. Would you agree with me that what we just witnessed was animal abuse from somebody who is in court for human abuse? If that's the case, do you think he should be prosecuted for it? I'd love to hear what you have to say down below. Well, there we have it, folks. Seems like the only pussy this guy got yeeted across the room. I suppose some people are kind of into that kind of thing, but in any event, it does seem to me like this guy has a bit of an anger problem. Taking it out on a sweet little cat like that just seemed to be completely unnecessary. People like that probably shouldn't be allowed to keep animals. As I said, I absolutely adore animals. Of all shapes and sizes, all types, all kind of characters, you name it, I love them. I'm lucky enough to live on this big, beautiful farm where we've got loads of different types of animals. Anything from chihuahuas up to massive 1,000-pound horses and cows and birds of all description. I've even got some little shrimp right here on my desk. Loads of fish out there, like a bit of everything. So when I see somebody do something like that unnecessarily to an animal, it really, really bothers me. And I hate to see people like that being allowed to have animals in the first place. Anyway, folks, thank you for joining me. I really, really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure and smash that thumbs up button and we'll catch you in the next one. Sláinte.